Namaste, myself Dr. Manika, and today I'm going to be talking about another very interesting, beautiful aspect of life in a womanhood. It's the phase when most of the time you feel that life has coming to an end. It's nothing more beautiful, no grace, but actually I would say how you feel within is what you reflect outside. So yes, I'm going to be talking about the phase of menopause. Menopause, as we know, it's not just the phase when you have this symptom of menstruation that gets ceased, but there are also other physiological changes that takes place in the body. Yeah, so menopause is not a state of disease. It's not a pathology. It's a very natural phenomenon that every woman goes through or has in the upcoming stage of life, like how you have the puberty, you have the phase of adolescence, pregnancy, motherhood. So like the same, it's menopause. According to modern science, it has been divided into different phase again, which we can say it starts from the early 40s and it can last until early 60s at your age. So there are the stages like premenopause, perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. So there are like 4 different stages in this menopause itself. So don't get confused, but just try to understand the things more easily. So in the beginning of this stage, commonly you have symptoms like heavy or scanty bleeding, feeling of tiredness, fatigueness, disturbed sleep, hot flushes. So these are something very general symptoms that a woman experiences at the phase of menopause. But today I'm going to be giving some Ayurveda aspect of it, like how what specific symptoms the women can experience according to the doshic imbalance. Because as we know, Ayurveda says every individual it's unique in its own ways as per its basic constitutions, their prakruti, isn't it? So according to that, there can also be variation in the phase of this menopause, which is very beautiful phase again, I would say. So how to understand this better, I'll give you some Ayurvedic approach to it. So what is important? What is your goal that you would like to achieve when you say, okay, I am entering in this menopause phase? First of all, you would like to have peace in mind. You just need to have some calmness, some easiness, relaxation. So that is a very most important thing, a mental stability. So as I'll be emphasizing before also, that this is not a disease, it's just a physiological change. So you need to accept and understand this. Yeah. So to be calm is the first point. And then second thing is to maintain your 3 doshas has to be in the state of balance. So you need to maintain your body as per your prakruti. So for which you need to understand what is your basic constitution, and in case that there is something going out of order, so that will be, then you can better understand which is the imbalances happening in the body. Because unless and until you don't know what is your normal state of well-being, you cannot understand where the things are going actually disturbed, isn't it? So that is the second point to know. And the third most point is to balance your fire, the metabolic energy in the body. That is, according to Ayurveda, we can say the Pitta dosha. As I have been talked also before in many of my other videos, that any kind of imbalance or disease condition that happens in human body, it's due to the disturbance of this metabolic fire, the Agni. So that has to be most importantly taken care. Take care of your metabolic fire, your digestive system, because everything is connected with it. So in case if you have this imbalance of digestive system, metabolic fire, it influences on the endocrinal functions, your hormonal functions, Then further it affects your uh, lymphatic system, your nervous system. So there how it starts affecting and bringing this imbalances in the body. So coming to what are the specific symptoms you can experience in this state, in this phase of menopause according to the doshas. So women who have more of vata imbalance, they will experience, of course, the first and important disbalance takes place is with the mind. So there is a lot of mood swings, there is a lot of emotional instabilities, like you feel nervous, you feel anxious, there is a lot of emotions when you feel spaced out, lack of concentration, focus, fear comes up. So yes, that is the thing, you worry too much about the things unnecessarily. So that is due to the vata imbalance. Apart from that, you also experience sensitivities in the body, externally, internally, both. So you have symptoms like dry skin, skin is becoming very dry. So symptoms like dermatitis, nails are becoming very brittle, hair fall, hair dryness, hair thinning. Also, your vision gets very impaired. So you have difficulties with your short-sightedness, dry eye syndrome. So all these kind of basically you can say dehydrations happens in the body more. And with your menstrual cycles, it does get disturbed in the early pre and the perimenopausal phase. As we know, it's not like a immediate cease of the menstruation. So initially it starts with some imbalance and disturbances. So in this vata dysfunctional phase, you have symptoms like you will have scanty flow, scanty menstruation, which can be more like with some mucus and with some kind of spots, but very low bleeding happens here. And then also metabolic functions, you feel constipated, you feel lot of symptoms like irritable bowel syndrome, which is sometimes you feel constipated, sometimes you feel like diarrhea. So there is a lot of indigestion, bloating. So this is also the part of disturbance that takes place because of imbalanced metabolic fire. And then with also your hormonal changes, you have this reduced libido, the feeling of sadness increases, so you don't feel joy in anything or everything that you do. So it's a normal change again. So there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, so this is about the vata imbalanced. Pitta, if you have this pitta dosha imbalance in your body, so you will have excessive fire. So the first thing will be excessive hot flushes, which you can experience throughout the day, but mainly in the night time. And then feeling of irritability, anger, frustration, also competitiveness. You tend to compare yourself too much, judgmental. So all these things, because pitta people, as we know, they are very perfectionist, very precise, very focused, determined. So the extreme of it can bring lot of imbalances. Physically, in the pre-menopausal or perimenopausal phase, you can have excessive heavy bleeding, which can be symptoms you feel like too much of bleeding. It can be also very irregular, short cycles. So that can be very much intense for you to take. Also, you have problems with your circulatory systems, like fluctuation with the blood pressure. So here I would say many of the women, they get confused that they are having a disease like a high blood pressure, hypertension. But as I said before, these are just the symptoms. It's not a disease. Okay. So it can be overcome with better ways, not necessary that you just jump on to take some antihypertensive pills. Okay. Another thing is, of course, insomnia, disturbed sleep. It's happening. And then you also have a lot of skin sensitivities, again, redness, and also you have too much of fire aggravated in the body. So that is These are the symptoms of Pitta. Coming to the Kapha, so as we know, Kapha, it's mainly the feeling of heaviness, tiredness. So everything appears very slow and sluggish. You tend to gain weight when there is this Kapha dosha involved. So obesity, which can further lead to problems with your cardiovascular functions. So problems like high blood pressure, cholesterol, and high triglycerides can happen in this condition. Feeling of depressiveness, low motivation. Yeah, so it's very difficult also here to have any kind of focused mind. And physically also you feel heavy, as I said before, but mainly it's not just the fat that is accumulating in the body due to slow metabolism, but it is also excessive water retention that takes place, because here the lymphatic systems gets very blocked. So due to the dysfunction of excretion is not happening, there is a lot of water retention takes place in the body. So the feeling of water retentions, puffiness in the, there is a lot of slowness, sluggishness, as I mentioned. So these are the different dosha imbalance. According to Vata, Pitta and Kapha, you can experience various symptoms. And again, this is very natural. There is nothing as a disease here. Okay, so how to overcome this? So most of the women, they get worried about these symptoms can be very chronic. Is it something like a disease? I tell you, it's nothing to worry. First of all, what is necessary is to slow down and calm down. Okay, because many of the women, they feel when there is this beginning of menopause, like your life is no more juicy, it's no more beautiful. I would say it's nothing like that. You can be the same, more graceful and more blissful. You can experience also in this phase of your life. So what Ayurveda gives you a guideline how to stabilize the situation better. Again, the 4 sources of energy: healthy eating, healthy sleeping, practicing pranayama, meditations, and physical activity. So when these things are being practiced and being followed as per your basic constitution, as per your prakriti, as per the doshic imbalance vikruti, then you can attain the better results. So according to Ayurveda, what kind of routine that you can follow? So of course, your dinacharya, your daily routine has to be more balanced. Sleep early or sleep in the same time. So it should not be like today you slept at 10 o'clock, tomorrow you go to bed at midnight. That's not the right way. Of course, you will experience the disturbed sleep. So you have to follow the same pattern when you're going to bed and then when you're getting up in the morning. So that is a most important thing about the sleep routine, bedtime routine. Another thing, when you go to bed, please disconnect yourself from the devices, mobile phones, televisions. You can just listen to some mild music. You can do some meditation, breathing. You can read some books. This is still okay. But any kind of gadgets, gizmos should not be around you, because it's not before. There is a saying, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy and wise, isn't it? But I would say when you sleep in the right time, you get up early and your day can be better and better. So your night regime is much important than your day regime, okay? So your bedtime routine has to be set perfectly. And then in the morning when you get up, you have to do some pranayama, breathing. So in this phase of menopausal, some pranayamas which are very good for you is Nadi Shodhan pranayama, which is the alternative nasal breathing. So this you can do. So inhale Nadi Shodhan pranayama, and then also Brahmari pranayama, that is humming like a bee. So this you can do. So this is very good to relax your mind and also to bring your mind in clarity, focus, attention, and also to feel the bliss and stability. When you have the symptoms of hot flushes more and more, there is a pranayama called Shitali pranayama. So it's like you roll your tongue and then you breathe, suck in the air. So it's called Shitali pranayama. So it helps to reduce the excessive fire or the pitta imbalance in the body. So usually pranayamas can be done 2 to 3 times in the day, 3 to 4 rounds, so 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, it's not like whole day you keep doing it. 2 to 3 times is ideally okay. When you get up in the morning, before you go to bed, or also in between the day, you can do. Yeah. Sudarshan Kriya is very, very good. It's a technique which is a complete, it's a holistic approach, as I have also mentioned it about this before. There have a lot of scientific studies done on this, which says it's great to stabilize your body, mind and your energy in an equilibrium. It's great for your immune resistance, better nervous system coordinations, and most importantly, it helps you to overcome the stress, anxiety, emotional instability. So Sudarshan Kriya is a great. So people who don't know what is this, you can check out on our shankara.it or Art of Living website. We have online courses, so you can go and do it. Okay. In Sudarshan Kriya, there is a technique also called Bhastrika Pranayama, and in general, if you know Bhastrika Pranayama, it is contraindicated in this state of menopause. So don't do Bhastrika. You can just do some light pranayamas, which I said before. And yoga asanas are also great because it helps to balance your endocrinal function, hormonal system. So some of the yoga postures that you can do now is sun salutation, because it helps, it basically involves the whole of the from head to toe, all the movements are being connected and it's being used in the right way. So sun salutation is good for you. Some forward stretching postures are great, like cow pose, cobra pose, cat stretch, tree pose, triangle pose, warrior pose. So these kind of poses, Superman, or I should say Superwoman posture is very good also. So these kind of yoga asanas are great. The best time to do yoga is in the morning. If you are not having enough time, you can do it also late afternoon, but not after sunsets. So this is about yoga pranayama. Meditation, specifically yoga nidra, is great. So it's like a yogic sleep which can be done as a guided meditation for 20-22 minutes, and it has been said it's like 2 hours of deep sleep, so you get that deep relaxation. So yoga nidra is great. The best time to do this, I would say, in the middle of the day, so you can balance both of the extremes. So first half and the second half of the day can be balanced by doing yoga nidra. After lunch, you can just lie down and do this with a guided instruction. Then also full moon meditation, it's great because most of the women in this menopausal phase, they have a lot of discomforts or symptoms get aggravated around the lunar phase. So during that phase, if you do this full moon guided meditation, it's great for you. Shanti meditation is also very good. So these are some guided meditation. You can find it also on our website or on YouTube. There is a channel Shri Shri. So there you can find them easily. So this is about yoga, pranayama, meditation. Some other things that you can do in your routine which can help you is like doing some abhyanga. Panchakarma is great to take like some Ayurvedic detoxes, but as we know in this present scenario, we cannot have like a classical things done. So even at home, you can do some self-massage, whole body massage you can do, and also you can just do some foot massage. Extremities you can oil with some sesame oil, with some brahmi oil. It's great because it helps to improve the circulation, it helps to relax your mind. It's great for your lymphatic drainage also to get reactivated. And then also there is, as I said, there is sensitivity, dryness in the body. Also in the intimate parts you feel a lot of sensitivity, dryness. So you can use some coconut oil there. It's great because it's not only helps to reduce dryness but also hydrates and reduces the infection like conditions. So it brings about the perfect moistness to the skin. So that is great. Like for Vata condition, you can have sesame oil. For Pitta, you can use Brahmi oil, coconut oil. For Kapha, again, it's like moderate, so you can have any of sesame oil is also good. Other therapies that could be done is Marma therapy. It's very good because it helps to improve your nervous system coordinations. It relaxes your mind, but also it's very good for your chakras, so that you can take Marma therapy. Shirudhara is also very good. If you want to do something like that at home, so you can do like a Shiro Pichu. So you can take like a cotton swab, you can put it some oil on it like coconut oil or Brahmi oil, and then you just put it on the crown of your head, the bregma part, and just leave it overnight when you go to sleep. So basically when you do some massage or oil application in the extremities like head and the feet, it helps for proper circulation and movements. So that is another way of balancing the Vata and Pitta dosha, which is the main dosha imbalance in this menopausal phase. What to eat? So diet is again a very common question of a lot of people. So here I would say it's not only what you eat, but how you eat, when you eat, with what state of mind is very, very, very important. Okay? What you can add in your diet, that I can say, because as we know, food varies from place to place, from region to region, from country to country. So eat what is local and easily available as per the season again. What you can add in your food, first important thing, what I always like to say is ghee. Yes, it's a tridosha balance. It is very good for reducing the vata, the dryness, sensitivity. It enhances your better nervous system functions, coordinations, because it is rich with healthy fatty acids, healthy cholesterol, it has, and amino acids. So it's very good for improving your agni, your fire. So it's great to balance your metabolic function, and then further it nurtures the other systemic functions. What else? Hydrate yourself, drink more and more liquids. You can have some lemonades throughout the day with some mint. For example, if you have more pitta like symptoms, you can have some lemon juice with some mint leaves, or basil leaves are great. If you have more like vata symptoms, you can have like herbal teas which has some ginger in it, yeah, and also cumin. So this kind of herbs, spices are great that you can use also in your drinks. If you have more like kapha symptoms, the water retention, so you can have liquorized tea or yashti madhu tea. So this is very good. So it's not only helps to hydrate your body, but also detoxify your body at the same time. So liquids are the must. Then eat which the food is more vata pacifying, but at the same time not increasing your pitta. So don't eat too much of spicy and oily things, but eat homely cooked, freshly cooked, warm food. So that is what is sattvic, with sattvic state of mind. Yeah, that is important. You can also have like some detox diets in between, like for vata people, you can have more fruits, veggies. Khichdi diet is great, so that you can do. Khichdi is basically like a rice porridge, or you can use some other grains and cereals cooked with some veggies, but it is more semi-solid, semi-liquid consistency. Khichdi recipes you can get easily online. What not to eat? No coffee, no caffeine, no aerated drinks, no alcohol. It's a big no, because of course it disbalances your dosha, but it also acts like a barrier in the tissue metabolism and tissue growth, because it adds like it does not let the nutritional get absorbed in your body. So avoid these things. So no coffee, no caffeine drinks, no alcohols, no smokings, okay, and no late night munching as well, okay. Eat seasonal, as I said. So as we know now, mostly in Europe you have asparagus. This is great. It's very good. It's natural phytoestrogen, so it has a natural estrogen which is very essential in this phase of menopause, because body does not produce estrogen or progesterone hormones, and that's why you have all this imbalanced state of your bodily and mental state of your being. So eating seasonal is very important. In the night, golden milk is great because it helps to relax your body, and also very good for tridosha balance. Some supplements what you can take in case of vata imbalance, vata dosha symptoms. When you have, ashwagandha is great, primrose oil is good for you. When there are pitta symptoms, then you can take like shatavari, amla, brahmi. These are very good because it has natural vitamin C. Shatavari has natural estrogen. Brahmi is a great nerve tonic. For kapha conditions, punarnava, it's very good because it helps like a diuretic, reduces water retentions. And Arjuna is great because it helps for cardiovascular functionings. Triphala, good for detox. So this is more for the kapha symptoms. So these are the some Ayurvedic supplements that you can take as per the symptoms that you feel. Of course, for better understanding, it's good to have an Ayurveda consultations. At the moment, we are having this online consultation through which you can reach to me. For this, you can write in a comment box to me, or you can directly get in touch with shankara.it website. There you can get the better understanding about how to make this consultations made. Okay, so yeah, these are the some general guidelines about menopausal phase. But again, to be very emphasizing, this is just a natural change in the body. So enjoy this transition and enjoy this moment with complete bliss and feel the beauty inside you. And most important thing for a woman who leads their life meaningfully for the purpose, I tell you, you are beautiful forever. Yeah, so it's very important to love yourself, to feel beautiful about yourself, and be useful. Of course, this is the time of your phase, of your age, when you should give time to yourself, but also do the things what you can do for others. Okay, so serve the society, for your family, not only for your family, but also do something for the society. This will make you happy and healthier, because when we do something for others, it makes us also happy and positive, uplifted, isn't it? So this is what I wanted to say in today's section. And for any other questions, you can write to me on shankara.it. You can contact us and then you can reach to me. Okay, so this is all for today. Stay tuned for the next video. Stay healthy, stay safe, take care of yourself, your family and society. Namaste. Ciao, bye-bye.